All right, hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. As you can see, we got a full screen. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to wrap up 2025. We're going to preview 2026, and we also have some pretty cool announcements coming up for the NHRA Division One Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Banquet. So, with that being said, as my voice is dying, I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Sanca.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Rob and Steve, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
No, we're hanging in there. Um, yeah, I logged on to see you three handsome faces sitting here, wondering what the hell I'm actually going to do. So apparently, I'm going to talk to Steve. When I run out of things, Rob is going to talk to Steve. Steve will probably make fun of Rob and me, and we'll call it a
And
night
me.
around 8 o'clock or so. So, Steve, welcome on.
Thank-
Obviously, we're going to be wrapping up some NHRA stuff. Um, One thing that, I mean, you obviously weren't there, but you know what goes on behind the scenes. I would love to get your input on NHRA canceling the last race of the year. Um, you know, I a lot of people say, oh, run it on Monday or Tuesday or delay it a week or whatever. And, a lot of people say that without knowing the logistics of what actually happens, not to mention the fact that they had a banquet scheduled for Monday. So I can't imagine that that's something you could just push off a couple of days or a week. Not to mention the countless employees and you know, equipment drivers and so on. So, just out of curiosity, how do you feel about how the whole thing went down?
It's unfortunate, but I think it was the only option that they were left with at that point. What people don't remember or might not even know is that NHRA doesn't own the Fairplex. That is a leased property. The track is part of the Fairplex property, and NHRA leases the use of that area. So it's easy to say, well, run on Monday, run on Tuesday. Why don't you just move it to the next weekend? But the Fairplex has other events already scheduled.
Right.
So, there's logistics involved in that. And then you have the cost to keep the teams there. I mean, it's not cheap when you're, gotta spend an extra 7 or 8 days in hotels. Do you fly people home and then fly them back? There's a lot of moving parts, just for the race teams. And then when you get to the NHRA part, for employees, you have to remember that 90% of that crew is part-time help event workers that, take vacation to do it.
Sure.
So to get them to, commit to another weekend could be difficult because they might not have the time. And trust me, it sucks, and it's not the way that NHRA would want to end their season. But when it comes down to it, I mean, you're looking at a complete rebuild of that track. I mean, it just got slaughtered. So the whole thing would have had to been scraped, re-prepped, and that's probably a good 2 days of work there. And the forecast wasn't favorable for Monday, didn't really look any better for Tuesday. There was a window of opportunity on Wednesday, but then they were talking rain the end of the week. So, as if the internet followers look today, Vegas had rain. So, do you move to another track? Well, there's another logistic issue. Are the tracks available? What's the weather going to be? What's the cost to move it there? And then does it really make sense? So yeah, it sucks, but they made a good call for safety reasons. I mean, they were pumping the sand trap out with water pumps. There was that much water in there. So yeah, it's not always
That's a
as
lot of
easy as
water.
hey, run it on Monday or move it to the next weekend. I mean, we have the same issue in the division. Everybody says, well, why can't you run on Monday or move it to this weekend? Well, some of our tracks, they're not allowed to run on Monday.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Okay.
to get a permit or special permission. Even when we went to Virginia this year, for them to do a test and tune on Wednesday, they have a hard cut at 5 p.m. during the week. So, you run into those issues, and
Sure.
it's tough. It's tough. We could have ran it at the Dutch, but the Dutch was already over. So
Yeah, right, right. This is this is one of the reasons why I love to have you and Rob on the show, because you really get a lot of insight on what goes on behind the scenes that the average person doesn't know. I my personal opinion with the whole thing is NHRA doesn't want to cancel a race. They are a business and they make money when the race gets off the ground. So for them to cancel the race and call it a season, financially, they're taking a hit. And it's funny because you have the people that, in one breath, talk about how NHRA is just in it for the money. But then when they cancel an event, they come up with a bunch of other reasons. So it's like, well, what is it? Are they in there just to rake in all the money, or are they actually there for the racer? It could not have been an easy decision for them, and I'm sure financially it wasn't the best thing in the world that ever happened to them. But I guess they had to do what they had to do.
yeah, I mean, not at all. I mean, you take into consideration the financial loss just in equipment and personnel, that they're going to take, and then you know some of those TV production trucks that the company uses are not owned by NHRA. Again,
Sure,
it's a leased piece of equipment. So
they
to
made the
say,
trip; they
hey,
have to pay for them.
correct, and it wasn't available, to move it to another weekend. So you got a lot of winter sports going on right now with hockey, football, college football. So it's those trucks get used 365 days a year, and if NHRA is not using it, it's going down the road to the next event. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, they're
Stadiums,
going to
but
take a financial hit because everybody that bought tickets for this year is going to get tickets for next year.
Sure.
If they choose to come back. So yeah, they've made that money on that ticket, but now that takes away from another ticket that they could sell for next year that would be
Absolutely.
a
Yeah.
reserve
Right.
seat.
Right.
100%. And listen, the banquet had nothing to do with that decision. You can move banquets around, change times, whatever.
Hmm.
So I think that was the least concern and I wasn't there, but just knowing how things work, the banquet was the least of the concern. The track
Yeah.
conditions and making it safe was the number one priority. And listen, you get that much rain in that amount of time, it's very tough.
Well, I've been at a lot of tracks with a lot of rain. I don't know that I've ever seen a sand trap have to get pumped. That's a lot of water. Because
Yep.
sand usually drains, the pea gravel and the sand drains pretty good. So for that to happen, that's a boatload of water.
A lot of
Now,
people are saying it was like unprecedented weather for this time of year in California.
Oh, 100%. It never rains in
never rains in
South.
Southern California, right? Except for when NHRA is in town. Now, Steve,
Next heavy rain area.
I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but um, all of the pro teams, if I'm not mistaken, they get money just for qualifying, correct?
Correct.
So when they don't get a race off the ground and they don't have qualifying and they don't have a show, do they still get paid money for making an appearance? So not only did NHRA take a financial hit, but all the teams that went out there that, I mean, granted, what they get paid probably barely pays for fuel for some of the teams that are traveling across the country, but it's still money that I'm sure they were depending on.
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. That's all around bad news for the whole event that I'm sure no one wanted to go through.
Yeah, it definitely it affects everybody, not just NHRA. It's, the fans, the competitors, the whole deal. So
Sure.
it sucks for sure.
Yep. Yep. No doubt. No doubt. So, what else is new and exciting in the NHRA world?
So, we closed out 2025 with the Dutch. Pretty successful. There were some snafus with temperatures and conditions that made us move class, the end of class to finish it up on Saturday.
Hmm.
But again, I think the main point of that event is stock, super stock class, and And to get that finished because of racing for a Wally, I think is a big deal.
Sure.
I think we had like 141 stockers on property, and I believe 100 super stockers on property. I think the total was, I think it was 6 or 8 records that were set. So the teardown barn was kind of busy.
Yep.
Um, I mean, all in all, it was a good event. I think going forward, there's going to be some discussion on how to maybe revamp that because we're not getting the participation from like top dragster, top sportsman, and comp that really make it worthwhile. I mean, when only 5 cars show up, it makes it kind of tough. Then there's no purse,
Sure.
and it sucks. So the other thing is, how do we get more of these Hemi guys to come a little bit north that time of year to make that shootout a little bit better? We only had 6 this year, so kind of stinks, but it is what it is. But those 6 cars put on a pretty good show. So
It
all in
gotta
all,
be a,
another.
it's got to be a little hard being so late in the year. I mean, most people's stuff is worn out and people are worn out. And then if the weather is even remotely questionable, but if you want to go fast, that's the place and the time to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we saw that at Cecil. I mean, I think that was a good time of year for that race at Cecil.
Yep.
Just a little chilly in the morning, set them back a little bit on start time, but once they got rolling, I mean, that track was amazing. The Pro Mod guys put on a good show, and there was some good close racing. To watch stock and super stock go down Saturday night with their bumpers pretty much dragging the track to the 330, was kind of neat. Um, so yeah, I think those 2 events end of the year, you know, you bounce back from one bad race and have 2 good ones. I think it makes up for it. But
Yep.
I mean, all in all, it was a good season. We didn't have too many awful issues. It was a lot better than the last couple of years.
Yep.
But so on to the next.
Excellent. Good deal. How about Bubba Linky?
Yeah, that's cool. So, you got Bubba Linky, who won in stock in the division and world champ. And then you got Josh and Jessica, brother and sister, and
Yep.
Super S and Top Dragster. And then I think the biggest one of the year, at least for me, from the perspective of never giving up and getting there, is when Mr. Amorosi won Super Street by one
Yep.
point. I mean, to go through the devastation that everybody involved had to deal with at New England with that unfortunate accident,
Mhm.
and then bust your butt to come back to the next race with a bandaged up race car, travel, and then come back and get it by a point. I mean, that's to me that's pretty cool that he
Yep.
could he
Yep.
could do that.
Was it was funny because I'm not paying attention like I should. I didn't realize that he was in as good a shape as he was in the points. I definitely didn't realize it when the incident happened. And like I said, I just haven't been paying attention, and I'm flipping through Facebook. I believe it was yesterday, and I saw the picture of when he was in the lanes and the accident happened. And then I saw the next picture of him holding a Wally and being congratulated for winning the division. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I had no idea. Yeah, that's the definition of overcoming adversity. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And comp this year, Joe Carnescal pulled it out. Um, Came down to, the last couple of races between him and Don and Steve. So that was a good tight race. And
Yep.
Pete Diagnola getting super stock. So that was good this year.
Yep.
We had a lot of close races. Let's see, top sportsman was Jeff Brooks. He ran into a tough match with Mike Daniele, but Jeff was able to pull that out,
Right.
finish the Virginia race. So um, I do want to say one thing, and I just want to make sure that our racers and fans understand that there's a lot of things on social media right now about what certain racers may or may not have done and questioning, the divisions and how they handle things. And I want our racers to know that we make sure that everything is done properly. So if somebody wants to waive a race, it's always done before we even start racing. I've had people come to the tower and say, "Can I waive this race?" And it was already after the first time run, and the answer is no. And they're cool with it, and they go about their business. So there's a lot of crap right now out there on the internet from certain individuals who don't know, think they know, or maybe they just want to stir trouble. I don't know, but from my perspective, in our Division 1, everything is done the way it needs to be. There's no special gimmies given out. There's no, well, we'll do this and keep it quiet kind of thing. Everything's, above the book, by the way things are written, done with the proper procedures. So, I don't know why people have to be a pain in the butt all the
Well,
time, but
it's the same people that have an opinion about the last race that got canceled. And listen, it's okay to have an opinion on something, but to speak about something without knowing the facts or the details or anything that goes into it, all you're doing is stirring the pot and really for no good reason. Um, I'm guessing I know what you're referring to, and I'm not going to mention any names, but you hate to see such an amazing accomplishment have a select few attempt to tarnish it. But at the end of the day, if you know the racer and you know the family of the racer, you know what kind of racers they are, and you don't really put any of that into question. The people are going to talk, they're going to talk, but the people that know.
right. Yeah, it's just sad that things like that have to,
Yep.
keep circulating just to, stir the pot or whatever it is.
Right.
Because, I've been around a long time and I've seen some pretty questionable things go on, but it is what it is, and it's sometimes it's a team sport, and there's nothing wrong with that. Uh-oh, we lost Chris.
Robert's
So,
iPhone is now the host. Robert, you're the host. Congratulations.
I've been
but it's
You
all
get
good. But I just want all of our racers to know that, if they ever have any questions, all they need to do is ask. We don't hide
sure.
anything. Everything's always done the way it needs to be, and people ask questions, I give them the answer. Sometimes they don't like the answer, right, Rob? But the answer is the answer, and it is what it is, and
Listen,
whatever.
I've been there before when I didn't like the answer, but at the end of the day, I respect it because I know you guys have a job to do, and it's you're not going to leave the track happy every day. That's just the way it happens.
Right.
I
So,
I was told by Dave Moon one time when I was kind of frustrated about some stuff going on with my series and stuff, and his exact words to me were, "If you make 90% of the people happy when they leave the racetrack, you've done a good job." Because there's 10% you're never going to make happy no matter
Right.
what.
90% of 500 cars is a huge friggin' number. Every
yeah,
baseball player, every quarterback, everyone would take those odds every single time. So that's nothing to shake a stick at.
No matter what, there's going to be 10% of somebody's going to complain about either how you ran the race, how you did the rotation, how you sent cars down,
Yep.
time shots, or didn't do time shots, or it was. He says there always will be somebody who bitches about something on, how you did a race, no matter what. And he says when you let it get to you, and that's when it's time for you to, either move on or,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Steve, I got to ask a question because you sound very professional and employee like. Are you really retiring from NHRA? Is your hat still in the game?
so I mean, I'll still be around. I've been told that I can come as an event employee, but the full-time deal is still going to end in March.
Yep.
Um, but I'll still be around doing whatever, whether it's tech or working the tower, back computer, whatever Mark would need, as long as I'm available and have nothing going on. I still plan to help out as much as I can.
Nice.
Um, I'm gonna dabble in some other stuff. I talked to Tyler. I might do some more PDRA events. I'm gonna come flip pancakes for Rob
Yep.
at his series. So, watch out for flying pancakes.
Rob, that might be the one thing that I needed for incentive to show up more is I like to eat.
We always have barbecues, and
I know.
we always have
Yep.
on Sunday mornings now. But we have professional, we have a professional chef with Steve Rhoads. I mean,
I'm not showing up unless you get him one of those poofy chef hats.
I mean, I can't promise that I can bring 2 bags of ice to everybody's trailer. That's a
How
big.
about a Ferris wheel? Can you get a
I
Ferris
see
wheel?
what you did there.
Jerron's going to come in now soon. So
Yeah, right. That's great.
So yeah,
Good stuff.
we're good. We're gonna roll into 2026. I'm sure everybody saw the schedule. But just to touch on some things, so the season won't start again till the end of May at Maple Grove. So another late start in the division, but that could be good, that could be bad. Um, May and June and July, man, it's going to be tough for our racers because we start at Maple and then we go to MIR well, some of us will be going to MIR for the national event. They haven't come out with the exact class schedule yet for all the national events, but the rumor on the street is that the Lucas Oil Series categories could be kind of limited for that first one, just because we don't know how space is going to work out and all that good stuff. It looks good on paper, but till you get things in there and get it rearranged and everything to see how things fit, they might scale it back a little bit for the first year. But the caveat to that is in June, unfortunately, it's on Father's Day weekend, but they're going to have the double. So there'll be a double Lucas race at MIR over Father's Day. So that might hurt the pain a little bit of those that might not be going to the national event. And again, that's all fluent and could change tomorrow for all we know. So, but just to prepare for that. And then obviously we go to Lebanon over 4th of July. And then end of July, we'll go back to New Media for double points race again. So no National Open there, double Lucas points. And then a little bit of a breather from the end of July, at least for the Lucas Oil categories. They won't race again till the end of August at New England. So that'll be the 21st to the 23rd of August. And then they'll have another little bit of a break. Cecil County will be October again, the 9th to the 11th. And then, of course, in the middle there, we mix in the national event at Maple Grove. Kind of cool this year. We're going to be spending a lot of time at Maple Grove. They're going to be the host track for the bracket finals. And they're also the host track for the Division Junior Drag Racing League finals again. That went over pretty well last year. Car count was good. For the first time in, I think it might have been like 8 or 10 years, Virginia sent a team. So, which is kind of good. And talking to those parents, they're hoping to get more involvement for this year. And then we'll wrap up the season at the Dutch again, the end of October. So lots of stuff going on. As far as the northern end in Canada, they have their gamut of 7 double race weekends again, starting in Toronto and then making their little path around, and then ending in Naperville in September. And Toronto is going to host the Summit ET Eastern Canada bracket finals. So my question to you guys, I know you guys don't do a lot of ET racing, but you hear what goes on out there. Did you hear anything negative or positive about Canada being a team this year? Their own separate team?
No, I've heard absolutely nothing negative or positive about it. Business as usual on my end as far as people talking about the bracket finals and how they did. No one mentioned anything about that. How
From the
many?
look,
So did they used to be considered Division One, or were they never even allowed to participate before?
So they're still considered Division One. They always were Division One, but if
Yep,
they wanted to run the bracket finals, they had to come here. So
gotcha.
we always had Team Canada, and they had to come here to the US to wherever we're now. All of those Canadian tracks are now having their own bracket finals, and then we have our own bracket finals in the States. So
Gotcha.
that eliminated the drawing to see who the eighth car would be from each division when they went to Vegas. So
Yeah,
now Canada fills that eighth spot, which I think is kind of cool.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
hopefully that'll continue to work out. So yeah, another busy season. Unfortunately, VMP not on the schedule. As of us talking right now at 7:29 tonight, still an NHRA track. The track has not been sold. Um, PDRA has not been sold. We all saw that, press release from Tommy and Judy. So while it's, silly season everywhere and this track and that track, there's still a lot of things going on out there, but hopefully in 27, maybe Virginia will be back on the schedule. Who knows? There's already conversations taking place about, 2027. Just too much going on and too much uncertainty in 2026 until things settle down a little bit. And, who knows? Maybe I can talk Mark into buying a Ferris wheel and we'll have a Ferris wheel that makes ice. How's that?
A snow cone Ferris wheel.
That'll be
There you
Steve's
go.
weekend job. He'll be driving that all over the Northeast.
Or
Yeah.
you on the top of the Ferris wheel throwing ice bags out to everybody.
I love it.
Instead of a t-shirt cannon, we can have an ice cannon.
Ice cannon.
There you
What
go.
could possibly go wrong?
Everything. And that's what makes it fun.
It's
And
great.
listen, I think it's listen, whatever they're doing over there, I hope it works for them because now if you're a racer, you have a choice. If you just
Right.
want to go play 8th mile, go play 8th mile. If you want to come and run quarter mile, come run quarter mile. You can pick and choose what you want. So I explained it to some people like, when you live in an area, there's how many different grocery stores, and you get to pick
Right.
which grocery store you want to, sometimes this grocery store has things this grocery store doesn't. So you got to pick and choose where you want to go. I think it's a good thing. I think competition's good, choices are good. And, all joking aside with some of the stuff that's there, I hope it works out for them because I think it'll make everybody better across the industry,
I mean,
what
think
they're doing.
think about, where IHRA used to be heavy in tracks, and then they went away for a long time. Think about all the people that sold all their stuff and just got out of the sport because it
Right.
just wasn't feasible for them to travel. Well, now all of a sudden, if some of these things are starting to open up, the bottom line is if you have more people and more race cars and you give them options, you're going to have more people at the tracks. And it's definitely going to spill over from one to the other. There is a reason why you cannot pull out of a McDonald's driveway and look around and not see a Burger King. Right? I mean, competition is good and there's a reason why it works. I don't see any reason why this couldn't work.
I 100% agree with you.
How do you like
So
that,
that's a
Chris? He agrees with me.
So that's a quick, snapshot of what's going on in the division. I know Rob's got his schedule, so when you look at the amount of racing that you could do and the choices that you have, in the Northeast, I think it's good for everybody, and hopefully, things will continue to grow and flourish, and everybody can get a little piece of the pie.
Yeah. Well, why not? Like I said, we there was a time when tracks were closing and things were looking pretty grim for Division One. And now it's like things are bouncing back. Rob got dates for his series when things didn't look great for him with, one of his major tracks closing on him. It's the strong persevere, and that's what you guys have done. And it looks like right now that's what drag racing's in the process of doing. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Steve?
It's good for the racers, and it's good for all those companies that make parts and pieces that racers
Yep.
need.
Yep.
So Ray Urban wanted to know if there's any future plans for a nostalgia class at the divisional or nationals.
Not that I'm aware of. It'd be really tough on the divisional end, just because of the logistics involved in that and time. Um, I mean, to add another class to something that we're already, pretty much up against the gun every time we have an event. You know, everybody complains about the length. Oh, I got to get there on Wednesday to get a good parking space, and then I'm there for 4 days. And so, I mean, there's ways to cut that down, but in order to cut down the time, you got to give something up. So, there's been chatter about, you okay? Uh, just my wife, don't worry.
It's all good.
She's just throwing stuff at me. Um, no, I mean, there's been chatter about cutting back to 2 time runs instead of 3. I mean, that'll save you half a day sometimes, depending what's going on. I know when you travel to other divisions, especially down south, that's pretty much Cody's standard is 2 time runs and go. I mean, there's some people that said, yeah, that's cool. I could do that. And there's other people that say, if you do that, I'm not going to race anymore. So there again, you got your 90-10 split on what's what. So, but no, as far as nostalgia for divisionals, probably not going to happen.
Well, some of the alcohol cars got kind of scaled back a little bit for next year, right? With what divisionals they're at.
Right.
Or
So there's
that
been
part,
a whole revamping of the regional schedule. So now there'll only be 3 regionals in the division. It'll be Maple Grove, Lebanon, and New England. So those are the only 3 tracks that'll have alcohol cars this year. Mixed in with, so the way they did it was they kind of split it up. So there's a certain number of division races and a certain number of mission races that now count for the regional championship. So they added no alcohol at the Baby Gators this year. So yeah, that's for those that don't know or didn't look at the schedule, those races were actually flipped. So they're going to run the national event first, and then they're going to run the Baby Gators.
Did see
The
that.
Baby Gators will not have alcohol. The national event will, but the regional or the divisional will not. And then part of that addition is now the big Lucas race at Summit Motorsports Park will now be a regional for alcohol in the East region. So they've really, and there was a couple reasons why they did that, and they got all the alcohol reps together and they all discussed this and how to get more involvement, cut down on travel, try and make it a little more cost effective for the teams. And this was the plan that they came up with, and we'll see how it goes.
Any hope or strategy to try and get more alcohol funny cars out there? Or is this part of
So
that plan?
that's part of the plan, and then the other part of the plan was allowing this new, nitro rule package, which
Right.
has mixed reviews as to whether or not it will or will not increase. I mean, listen, when it comes down to it, it's cost. You go out there and destroy a blower and mess up a body, you're 100 grand in the hole already.
Right.
You go out and blow a supercharger on an alcohol dragster, it's just blower parts. You didn't hurt a body.
Sure.
So we'll have to see how that whole thing shakes out. But yeah, there's conversations on how to do that, and if you look at the I side with their participation, it's been some of our same drivers, but there's been some other ones that have come out of the woodwork. So will they cross over and run over? I don't know. So we'll have to see. I mean, they're kind of running the same rules, but they're kind of not. I don't want to get involved in what their rule package is or what their tech is. But we've had some of our racers go over there and run and be successful. So we'll see if that crosses over uh, to more participation on our side. But I don't know, it'll be tough. But yeah, that was one of the reasons was to try and get more involvement. I mean, dragsters, we can pull 20 of them out of a hat. Funny cars, we're lucky if three. So
It would be
I mean,
nice. I mean, I enjoy watching them. I mean, dragsters are cool, but I'm a fan of a body all the time. So, it'd be nice to see them represented more at the average event.
we need to interrupt for just 1 minute. This just dropped. Fernald Field, the 8th Mile track up in Maine. That's at the
yep,
old military airport. They were literally just granted a total of a 5-year lease on the facility. 3 years with the option for two 1-year extensions.
yep, I just
Nice.
read that. That's good. That's good for that area. So
Now, where is that in relationship to Oxford?
It's north of Oxford. It's about, I think Crystal told me they're roughly 2 hours from the Canadian border.
Oh, wow. So that's up there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good for them.
So we were talking to her about becoming a member track. So I know there was discussions taking place. So hopefully that'll happen, but we'll see.
Is that an 8th Mile track, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. You love hearing stuff like that. It's so much better than the other way it could go, right?
That's it.
All right. So since
So
I lost internet real quick, did we announce anything about the banquet? Yeah.
no, I figured we'd save that for last after we kind of touched on 2027 a little bit. So
Gotcha.
yeah, coming banquet February 7th, the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Sorry, it is what it is. Banquet space in this area, actually all across the Northeast, is tough, unless you want to fork out some big bucks. So we're going back to Kalahari again this year. They've been very kind to us. Actually, this is the third year in a row that they've actually lowered the hotel rate and not increased it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, we'll be there February 7th for the banquet. Um, we'll have the usual kind of layout. We're working on the special awards right now. All the champions will be there. Our AA Auto Salvage and Crawls champions will be given their medals and trophies there, along with hopefully all the short speeches that we're going to have. But kind of cool this year. We never really did an official announcement before, but talking to Mark and we've spoken to all three recipients for this year. So, and this is always a big contention amongst racers and fans and people that are out there as who should or shouldn't go into the Hall of Fame. So we're gonna have three um, gentlemen inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. The first one is a longtime NHRA employee, Kurt LaShore. So he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year for all his service and everything that he's done for the division. Second one going in, again, previous division track owner, racer, promoter, sponsor of two of our super stock racers. So Max Naylor will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And our third recipient, which is well known to all of you up there in the Northeast, is Mr. Jay Blake will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Very
for
cool.
everything that he has done. So I think three really good choices for this year. That's tough. I think that's one of the toughest things that we struggle with at every banquet is, the list way outgoes what you could induct. So it's always tough, who do you pick? Where do you go with it? So those are the three recipients this year. They're all hopefully will all be at the banquet to receive their. I know I talked to Jay; he was excited, so I'm sure he'll be there. I needed to make sure they weren't going to be out testing the funny car or anything goofy in February, so I think we're good there. So yeah, three good recipients this year should be a good banquet. We got a really good set of champions this year, along with all the division sponsors who will be invited. Um, and kind of cool. So $80 this year for an adult. That includes your meal and all that good stuff. We'll have cash bar, and then kids that are 12 and under will be $35. And then if you stay at Kalahari, your room includes the water park the whole time you're there. So it's all inclusive as far as that goes. And if you stay, I think if you stay 2 nights or more, they threw in a whole bunch of other stuff like our free arcade coins and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, should be a good banquet again. Think 2027, they were looking into maybe possibly bringing it back down to the Hershey area, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But so for this year, that's where we're at. We'll have the standard track operators meeting on Friday with the tech seminar on Saturday. Probably spice that up a little bit and do some more SFI stuff. I'm trying to throw together a short program. We had a lot of people last year also go through that training, and it was really good. We had people from all over New York, coast to coast. So it was another successful year to teach that SFI responder class. And if you know anybody that's a track employee and they're interested, I would recommend it, that they jump in one of those sometime in the future. So lots of good stuff going on, and we'll see what comes out of the track operators meeting and see what rules get changed for what. But yeah, it should be an interesting year.
Hey, Steve, is
And
there
I know Keith, Rob will be looking forward to playing with all the kids at the water park.
Hey, is there any truth to the Division One office getting moved to Connecticut?
Yes. So if you look at the job ad, it says in there that it's going to relocate to the Hartford, Connecticut area. I believe it says mid 2026. What that all entails, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's just going to be like the physical mailing address will be moving up that direction because that's where Mark lives, and the equipment will live in Pennsylvania where 90% of the employees, live, or if everything's going to get carted up there. I don't know. I don't have those answers. But with licensing being centralized now and everybody sending their stuff to either India or California, it has really, really cut back on the amount of work that comes through the office.
Sure.
So, I mean, to spend $1,900 or, whatever it is for rent a month for, an office where you might get 10 envelopes a week now doesn't make sense. Is it cost effective? Probably not. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. And I think that also all depends on who Mark selects as his next, number two guy. If that person's going to come from like this area in Pennsylvania, or if they're going to move up north, I think there's a lot of moving pieces. So, but as of right now, yes, it's advertised that, mid 2026, it would relocate up north.
My neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not taking the job. So just saying.
Come on,
Yes, you
Rob.
are.
If you ever took that job and came up here, Rob, I would haunt you.
I'm sure the series would haunt me too, because then the series would be no longer around.
Right.
Like
I would hand deliver my Christmas card to you.
Steve, is there a way that possibly, I mean, I know before your last act of before you leave, is to actually have a full list of people who actually are in the Hall of Fame. Because I'll tell you right
Yeah, if you
now,
if you if you go on to the Division One website,
yeah,
at the very top, there's a history tab. If you click on that history tab, you can click on Northeast Hall of Fame, and it goes all the way back to 77.
okay.
So everyone that's been inducted from 1977 up until current is listed on there.
Okay. Cause I didn't know that was there because I was trying to pick who, somebody for Hall of Fame this year. And I was like, can't figure out somebody.
Yeah, I mean it's there. The history tab's got like past Summit champions, Hall of Fame, junior champions. When PC Richards had the Open Series, those are still listed on there. The Image of Youth Award is listed on there. So that's kind of interesting if you scroll through those names from 1985 to current and look at the ones that were, Bubba Linky, 2006, Image of Youth Award. Now he's a world champion. So
Champion.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm
Just
sure
that
we're going to
we
see
don't
more
see
of that
Pete in
too.
there though. Gotta see Pete in there.
Maybe someday.
I don't think they had the youth award when I was a youth.
The over 50 award.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think to get into the
here's
Hall of Fame, you got to race more than twice a year. So
here's a good one for you. Wes Leopold just kind of came back this year to run comp after being gone for, it's been a while. In 1991, he was the Image of Youth Award winner.
wow.
So yeah, kind of cool. But yeah,
That
Rob,
is
they're all
cool.
there.
Okay.
Go under the history tab. You can find them.
Awesome. Good stuff. So anything else you got, Steve?
No, that's it, man. I just wish it would snow here. It's been windy
Hey.
and miserable.
Bite your tongue.
Yeah, we'll have none of that. You keep that snow with you wherever the hell you are.
Yeah, it's been windy and miserable, but if it's going to be like that, it could at least snow and make it fun.
God, no. It wouldn't break my heart if I never saw a flake again in my life.
I'll watch all the snow I feel like on YouTube. I don't need to see it anymore in my front yard.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Stevie, thanks for coming on. And we hope to see you on the show 5 or 10 or 18 more times next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely keep us posted as to what you're doing. And we are an equal opportunity show. So no matter who you're checking tech cards for or whatever it is you're up to, flipping burgers or whatever, come on and tell us about it because we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And
Best of
Rob,
luck to you, Steve.
you're just Rob. We already know what your deal is.
Did he speak yet? And while I was gone,
No, not much. I told him that he was the official host when you bailed, and he laughed, and that's about all we got out of him tonight.
Hey, it's
do
been
you have a schedule for your series, Rob?
no.
How close
boo.
are you?
It's been a struggle so far. It's really has. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. I mean, there's a lot of emails that have been out there. I can tell you that I'm hoping by the 1st of December that we'll have everything, buttoned up and stuff. A lot of the stuff now is that, a lot of these tracks are trying to do their best that they can to make a little bit of extra, cash before they close up for the winter time. So a lot of these tracks that used to be like the Dutch Classic come around, and that was the end for Maple Grove. That was
Right.
last, hurrah for the year. Well, now, Kyle and Shane got the, test and tunes going pretty much, all through November, and then they start their winter series, in December and January. Cause hey, the bills come in no matter what, if you're racing or not racing. So they're trying to make a little extra cash here to keep, keep things going. And I think Cecil just closed up their season last weekend. And I believe Mason Dixon has their last event going on this weekend coming up. So, a lot of these tracks aren't even, haven't even started looking forward to 2026 yet. We're writing a schedule yet. So, I can tell you that there will be an event the weekend before the Lucas Oil race at Maple Grove. So look for more details in the next thing. We finalized on that thing this morning, me and Shane. So there will be a warm-up event for everybody who is waiting to see, try to get that test and tune in before the Lucas Oil races and stuff. So I can't tell you any more, details as far as parking and stuff like that and stuff, because I know that always that gives Larry puts Larry on edge when he finds out that there's an event the weekend before a Lucas Oil race. He's afraid everybody's going to park where they shouldn't be parking at. So but me and Shane will work hard on making sure that everybody is parked properly and where they need to be and stuff. And I will be washing my hands of anything Sunday night when parking comes around for after I leave, because there was some nightmares the last time that we allowed people to leave their stuff at the racetrack for a Lucas Oil race. So yeah, I won't be they beat all the track on that whole deal. So but yeah, I mean, we have 2 dates set, I know right now, trying to get 3 more. Just waiting on tracks to kind of sit down and start penciling in what they're going to have and stuff. So, but I mean, I'm working feverishly right now. Not going to PRI this year. So, I'll be, trying to get schedules done. And then we have our banquet the month after Division 1. So ours is March 21st. And, we try to look for some new, places to go this year, but, just didn't just didn't work out the way we wanted to. So we're back at the same place that we were the past 10 years. This is Twining Hall in Trevose, Pennsylvania. And we are limited to 185 seats. So we are a little almost half full right now with our ticket sales. So I'm not telling people to get them in, but definitely don't delay on getting your tickets in, because it could be a good chance you're parking cars or with Steve. So
yeah, washing, making pancakes, right? Am I right in saying that your series didn't go to Maple Grove this year?
no, we did not go to Maple Grove this past year. We only went to Cecil and Mason-Dixon, and such. So
So that's great.
yeah,
So hopefully, with any kind of luck, you'll have 3 tracks to go to this year, and
actually going to have another new one that's will be announced shortly. So we're
awesome.
going hopefully to 4 tracks this upcoming year. Don't know. I can't. The paperwork hasn't been filled out yet, but we do have a date set for an event at
Nice,
a new track. So
awesome.
but yeah,
So, like I said earlier, when things were looking bleak and Atco closed, and you weren't quite sure what's going on, now you could very well have the opportunity to have your series span across as many tracks as it ever has in a year.
yeah. I mean, and we would love to get back to new media too, if that ever transpired. It's just Steve will tell you, just dealing with the divisional stuff. I mean, the people complain about the tow up there and stuff, and it's just, and like I think I said on previous, podcast with you guys, is that they have a killer bracket program up there, and it's tough to throw away a weekend where they have a great turnout of bracket cars to have us, and maybe it's kind of almost how what we're facing with Mason-Dixon right now.
Right.
I love Mason-Dixon. I think it's a great track. I think they do a very good job with it. It's just getting people to actually go there is the tough part, and that's the biggest thing. And it's really not that far away, but to some people you feel some people would rather go down to Virginia or go down to Rockingham or
Sure.
go up to Epping rather than drive out to Mason-Dixon. So
Yep.
it's it's a catch-22, I guess you would like to say. So we're hoping back to 5 weekends, 10 races next year. And we're hoping this is the 18th of November. Hopefully by the 1st of December, around that, week or so, we'll have something announced.
Cool.
Well, I happen to know a show that if you wanted to come out and do an announcement on them, you're more than welcome to come.
I don't think people want to see. People see me enough, so
Can never have too much Rob.
I'll bring Dana on. Dana can
There
Dana
you go.
all weekend, all show, because she loves talking. So
That works. That works too. Good deal. Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. We appreciate both of you, as you know, and we look forward to talking to you both again.
yep. And I'm
All right.
shopping for Steve's apron and spatula for his pancake.
Perfect.
I got the hat. We're
I
good.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
And everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
All right,
Yeah,
You do the
Steve,
same.
Rob,
Kevin, guys.
thank you.
Take care, fellas.
One disappear. She's gonna sit there and look confused.
You all right, Steve?
I'm good.
He's just looking for the close button.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right,
Thanks, my
Steve,
friend.
best of luck to you.
Yep. Thanks. Take care.
Take care, buddy.
All right. All right.
And then there were two.
And then there were the two, whatever the hell we are.
Yeah, whatever we are.
Yep.
Any comments in the chat? Anything exciting going on in there?
No, just a lot of people saying hi. Chris D said Kalahari, here we come. Bob Gaetano, Gary Richards would be a good choice for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that would actually be a really good choice.
about it. Jason Lawrence said, "Yo, boys."
Sup? What's up? Chris D had a birthday last week.
Happy birthday, you old fart.
Forget 40, 48. I think Tommy said 48, 49, something like that. Not even 50 yet.
He's
Still
just
a
pup.
baby.
Yep. So,
Good deal.
all right. So you're headed on vacation.
I am headed on vacation, but before we talk about that, not that we're really going to talk about it, but let's not forget that your wife is getting back into the swing of things.
Yep.
And not only is she getting back into the swing of things, but she's buying an embroidery machine.
And she's also getting a hat press to
Excellent.
do heat transfer vinyl and sublimation. So when said equipment arrives, I will make sure everybody knows about it. So if anybody wants um, hats or shirts embroidered,
Yep.
for the embroidery, she's going to be limited to, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but it's right around 5x7. So,
Yep.
but
Good on.
yeah, so she got a nice Christmas bonus from her work. That's going to be
She'll
coming
be
in the next couple of weeks.
she'll be making a run of shirts for me, and I think I'm going to do some hats too. Yeah, good stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So hopefully everything works out and
And then when do you find out about going back to work? Is that December?
I will have my letter of clearance by December 2nd.
Excellent.
And then literally the day that I get it, I just gotta print it out, take it to work, give them the letter, sign all my paperwork,
Go
and
to
then they'd
work.
have to do the background check, motor vehicle check, and I will be back to work by at the very latest, the beginning of January.
How you gonna do with your background check?
I'm as clean as the day is long. I always joke because like when I worked at the Y, they did a FBI background check.
Yep.
You know, so they come and they interview you. And the guy's like, well, how do you know you're gonna pass? I'm like, dude, and I worked for the school district at the time too. I'm
Yep.
like, you don't understand. I get these done literally every 6 months.
Right.
I'm like, if they were gonna bust me on something, it would have happened 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Good
So
stuff.
yeah, I'm very, very, very incredibly excited to get back to work.
Good. Good.
So
Now, are you going to be doing a show next Tuesday or are you taking it off?
oh, I think I'm gonna take next week off since that's the Tuesday of Turkey Week,
Yep.
and we'll come back the Tuesday after because you're gonna be on vacation. I may as well, and everybody's gonna be getting ready for the holidays, so
Sure.
everybody deserves a break. And we'll be back probably to call it a season after that, and then we'll come back after the first of the year.
Dynamite.
Yep. I am working on, I'm in conversations with Marvin Blaney.
Good.
Everybody knows who Marvin is. Um, so he may be joining us on the return back from Thanksgiving. Just depends on how everything works out and if he's feeling up to it or not.
Yep.
Um, but that's if not, then at some point we'll be talking to him just to get an update on how he's doing. And he actually wants to talk to us.
Nice.
Um, so yeah,
Good
so that's
stuff.
about it. Yeah,
That'd be
I
a
mean
great,
it's
that
been
would be a great way to end the season.
it would it's been it's been a tough go for that man and his wife
Yep.
and um I that pales what I went through pales in comparison
Yeah,
to
I mean,
everything he's
everything has a struggle in a different way, but
yeah, I mean he's still, I can't imagine
yeah,
that. I really can't. It's the only thing way I can think of expressing it.
yep, yep, I agree.
So, but
Hey, Bob,
with that
well,
being said,
you know the deal. Taking a
ladies
shower,
and
going to sleep.
gentlemen, boys and girls, Pete's gonna go to bed, and we're out of here. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You
Stay
do the
safe,
same?
drive safe, and don't overindulge.
I'm not going to listen to that.
No,
I
I
don't
know
need
you won't.
I don't need that kind of negativity in my
You don't
life.
need that. Yeah, you don't need that in your life, do you?
See you, buddy.
Are the kids coming with you?
No,
No,
no. It's going to be a holiday. No.
no. That's
We do the reason why we're leaving on Sunday is because we do Thanksgiving on Saturday.
oh, okay. You do the
So we have
family
your
thing.
family, mother-in-law comes over, all the kids, boyfriends, girlfriends, all that good stuff. And the good thing about doing it the Saturday before is a lot of times when you do it on the holiday, everyone's got to split their time, right? They got to go over like my
I go
my
here.
kids,
No,
right?
there.
They come over our house, then they go over the boyfriend's parents' house. And the good thing about doing it the Saturday before is they could come here, they're not rushed, stay for dessert, fall asleep on the couch, whatever you want to do, you know?
Then you wake them up when you get ready to leave for the airport on Sunday morning and get the hell
That's
out.
right. That's it. By the way, one of you guys are dropping us off. Let's go.
Well, have a great vacation,
Thank
and
you.
I'll try not to bother you too much because I know
You
you're
can
going to be
bother me as
busy.
much as you want.
So,
I know
but
how to ignore
again,
a message. It's not a big deal.
yeah, it's happened to me before.
That's it. Have a good one, buddy. Tell Tanya I said happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, my friend. All right, everybody, like I said, enjoy your holiday. Take care, and we will see you on the flip side.
See you
See ya.
guys.